When we returned to Earth, the weight of what we carried pressed heavier than gravity. The council chambers were filled with faces pale from sleepless nights, all waiting for the data we had brought home. As I spoke of the derelict ship, of the voices that warned of something alive within the code, I felt the air grow colder. I described the Star Eater, the parasite of light that had consumed entire civilizations, and I watched denial flicker in their eyes before fear replaced it. Some leaders begged us to lock the truth away, to keep humanity blind. Others demanded immediate militarization, their voices shaking as they pretended courage. Knowledge is heavy, but this was crushing. We weren't just explorers anymore. We were carriers of memory, and of a threat vast enough to swallow suns. The stars remembered us, but now that memory marked us, and the question whispered across the room, unspoken but sharp as a blade, would remembering doom us? The revelation tore Earth apart. Nations fractured under the pressure. Some governments demanded retreat, to abandon the stars and bury ourselves in our cradle, where we might remain unnoticed. Others salivated at the idea of harnessing ancient knowledge as weapons, arguing that power was our only shield. Corporations lobbied to patent fragments of the code, seeking profit, even in the shadow of annihilation. And in the streets, people stared upward at the night sky, fear replacing wonder. I watched protests flare, riots bloom, and preachers shout that the Star Eater was divine wrath. For the first time, humanity had proof of something larger than itself, and we were splintering instead of standing together. I began to wonder if the darkness would even need to find us. Perhaps we would destroy ourselves before it arrived. Then, amid the chaos, came a discovery that changed everything. Buried deep within the rhythms of starlight, beyond the distortions and warnings, we uncovered something else: design. Equations woven into the pulses, schematics hidden in the cadence of suns. The ancients had not just left echoes of who they were. They had left blueprints, defense grids, energy systems, capable of drawing power from stars themselves. Weapons beyond our comprehension. They had not defeated the Star Eater, but they had not given up either. They had left their tools behind, seeds of resistance waiting to be found. I felt my breath catch as I traced the equations. They had left them for us, not because we were chosen, but because they believed someone, someday, might be ready. Perhaps the stars had remembered us, not just as witnesses, but as heirs. The first project was called the Forge Array. It began as a design etched into the code of a star, half a galaxy away, and with human ingenuity, it became something real. A network of satellites built to bend solar energy into concentrated beams, turning sunlight into a weapon sharp enough to cut through darkness. It was only a fragment of what the ancients had envisioned, but it was ours. Engineers worked day and night, their exhaustion masked by determination. Soldiers volunteered eagerly, pledging their lives not just for Earth, but for the memory of humanity itself. As I watched the first test beam slice the sky in dazzling brilliance, pride swelled in me. For the first time, we weren't staring upward in fear. We were answering, but pride was tempered by unease. The Star Eater was not idle. Even before the Forge Array was complete, our deep space sensors recorded disturbances. Stars flickered out of rhythm, their light distorted into unnatural patterns. Some of the encoded maps warped, twisted into symbols we didn't understand. It was as if the void itself was aware of us, responding to our efforts with hunger. Each night I lay awake, staring at the data feeds, haunted by the same question. Could we succeed where the ancients had failed? Yet, in the darkest hours, I found strength in the memory of the flicker I had first seen as a child. Small, fragile, almost invisible, but it had endured across ages. That was humanity too, stubborn, unyielding, refusing to be erased. When the Forge Array was unveiled, the world held its breath. The council chamber was broadcast to billions. Every screen on Earth tuned to that moment. I stood at the podium, my voice carrying across oceans and continents. "The stars remember us," I said, my hand shaking not with fear, but with resolve. "But memory is not enough. We must give them something worth remembering." The civilizations before us left echoes, warnings, and tools. They fell, but they believed someone might rise. That someone is us. We will not vanish. We will not be forgotten. The Star Eater will know our name, and the stars will carry our defiance forever. For the first time, I saw unity instead of division in human eyes, not as nations, not as factions, but as one species standing together. In that moment, humanity made an unspoken oath. If the universe remembered us, it would not be as victims. It would be as fighters.